Hey guys, so today we have a video about false advertising and a brand that is specifically doing that. And today we're talking about Il Makiage, which I actually, spoiler alert, did buy from. So I bought the foundation that they keep on shoving down everyone's throats on X, formerly known as Twitter. So if you want to see more about how they're doing this and what the foundation actually looks like, that's why I'm not wearing any makeup, then keep on watching and subscribe with the bell, like, comment for engagement. So I don't know if you guys have been on Twitter recently. I would completely understand if you were not. But Il Makiage has been essentially, I guess, paying for advertising on Twitter, and under most tweets that you click on, whether they are related to makeup or not related to makeup, you will get an Il Makiage ad. And apparently the same is happening on Facebook, so clearly they are just like doing that. So I actually went around and every time I saw one of those ads, I saved it just to, you know, show you guys. The first ad I saw was this one. Me, whenever I wear foundation, looks so cakey, and they wipe it off and they apply the new foundation. But then I found this viral foundation. It looks like my skin, and this is quite clearly Photoshop. No more caking and separation. I mean, it's over exaggerated. And this is the shot that I'm actually talking about, is when they do that brush thing and it just completely smooths out any texture of acne. I think it's ridiculous. First, if anyone believes this, please don't. But we've seen this kind of advertising before. So as we see that video, and it talks about the quiz they have to take, and I did take the quiz multiple times going to see if they get different responses, because for some reason this quiz asks you about your skin type, how you apply foundation. So it makes you think you're gonna get this super custom experience. So like if your skin is oily, you're gonna get a matte foundation. And if your skin is dry, you're gonna get a nourishing, you're gonna get a moisturizing, nourishing, glowy foundation. And maybe if you're applying with a sponge, you're gonna get a water-based foundation. If you apply with a brush, they're gonna give you an oil-based foundation. Maybe if you're applying with your fingers, you're gonna get a more kind of balmy foundation. No. Turns out you get the same foundation, whatever quiz you do, however you respond to it, that's what you get. Because I actually did it 2 separate times and I did 2 different answers, as it feels like 2 different people doing it. And yeah, but I actually did end up going with the original shade that they recommended to me, because they do this, like, they ask you a bunch of different questions and it feels like they're asking the same question over and over again. So it gets really like, I don't know what you want me to say anymore. So I just answered as honestly as I could the first time around, and I did end up buying that shade, so we're gonna see how good of a shade match it is. But yeah, I saw this ad, and what you see on Twitter is that you can't see the comments because they've set the settings to, you can only respond to this if they've mentioned you in the tweet, and obviously they haven't mentioned you in the tweet, so you're not able to like call it out. Now this one is probably the most like crazy version of this. I mean on the right, this person looks like any mum on Facebook that takes selfies and then completely blurs her nose out to look like Voldemort. I mean, that's literally what it is. And on the left, it's just an average, you know, that age woman. So obviously this foundation is not doing that. It's ridiculous that they would even attempt this, but I feel like at this point it must be rage bait. And I do want to do a whole separate video on rage bait, mainly on TikTok, mainly with the beauty community. This must be rage bait. But then again, you can't respond to these tweets. So like, they're not really getting engagement from it because you can't respond to it. So the only thing they can really hope for is that you go on the website and you buy it based on what this looks like. And yes, I did do that for the video, but I feel like the average person that isn't making content about it is not gonna be like, oh yeah, this looks absolutely realistic and I'm gonna buy it. Unless you guys are buying it. I don't know. Like, is anyone actually buying this foundation based on what this looks like? And it's ridiculous how much they blur progressively her applying this foundation. So it's like they do it kind of, it's like they've set it to like a gradient where it slowly blurs it out more and more to the point where she doesn't have features essentially at the end of the video. Her eyelashes look like they blur into her face. Her brows are basically non-existent, even though she does have brow hairs and she has wrinkles. Sorry, foundations will not fill in wrinkles. And this is not an age shaming thing. Foundation tends to emphasize wrinkles, but even if it doesn't, it doesn't hide them. It just kind of goes into them and around them, but it's not Botox and it's not filler. It's like how they used to do that like orange peel thing where they would put foundation on it and show like all the dots, and then they would put a pore filling primer and then apply foundation on top and be like, oh my god, look at that. It's like, our skin is not orange. It's not an orange peel. It moves, it has fluidity. And they do that also with their primer. They have like a pore filling primer, and I didn't buy that one. I only bought the foundation because that's the main one that kind of is in all the ads, but they do that on like a lemon peel. Then they do this one, I can't tell if I'm wearing foundation. Alex K. Join more than 25 million people who have found their perfect foundation match. Take the quiz to find the perfect match in 90 seconds. And they just over-exaggerate people quite clearly applying just the wrong shade of foundation. And then like these overemphasize. It is kind of interesting how they do understand the concept of showing unedited photos and videos only when it applies to other foundations. But the moment their foundation gets applied, suddenly they don't know about unedited videos and photos. It's very interesting. Someone actually made a thread about their way of advertising, basically trying to be like, it's a good way to advertise. And I don't know since when deceptive marketing has become like a great way to advertise. Maybe it's because it's a man writing this thread who doesn't understand makeup and editing. Matt Epstein, sharing strategy building my 7-figure brand. I've spent over 2 million on paid ads this year. Want me to make your ads for you. So he's just like an ad person. I don't know. I think his whole thing is just like, does this ad work and does it get people to engage with content? He doesn't really care about kind of all the back end. People love to claim that Twitter ads are dead. This brand consistently gets tens of millions of views with all different kinds of creatives. Here's what they're doing right and what you can steal from their strategy. He shows another ad for them for their primer. Once again, it is edited. Don't know how else to say this. Allegedly, but people's features tend to blur a little bit more when showing the afters. 1, leading with your pain point. There are tons of makeup brands, so Il Makiage starts its ads by pointing out what's wrong with all the others. They remind you exactly what you hate about other products on the market. This makes consumers feel seen and understood from the first second, building credibility. I mean, credibility is definitely not being built with this type of advertising, in my opinion. For me, this isn't how you build credibility. This is how you get me to mock you. Then their results show how their brand solves those pain points for you. You get triggered, then you see their brand as a solution. 2, doubling down on what works. Il Makiage has tested tons of ad formats and strategies over the years. Their winner, using D-list celebrities to catch your attention. Here's one example with over 50 million views. That's more than the population of Tokyo seeing one ad. Here's another ad they're running with the same premise. This one has over 61 million views. A ton of comments are about Jan from The Office catching their attention. Il Makiage noticed that worked and just kept doing it, and it just keeps working. I mean, there's definitely an aspect of, yeah, wow, this is like a D-list celebrity, Jan from The Office. But is it also because everyone can see how incredibly over-filtered this video is, and that's why it has such high engagement? Like, maybe it's not the D-list celebrity, maybe it's just the fact that they have like edited this video to high heavens. Not everyone can afford to work with celebs, but that's not the point. The point is to study your own ads after you turn them on, watch what works, figure out why, and repeat it over and over again. What works here is rage bait. That's what works. It's doing something ridiculous that people are going to call out, and therefore send that video to someone else and be like, oh my god, did you see how over-filtered that after is? Oh yeah, that looks ridiculous. That's why it works, not because they put like a D-list celebrity in there. Weird visuals. This ad is trending right now and it's crushing because of the weird visuals. You're not expecting to see makeup painted onto a lemon or applied with a toothbrush onto someone's cheek. That wait what moment is what they're counting on, which is a ridiculous video. It's very much reminiscent of 2016 Instagram hacks of like contouring with a fork and stuff like that. And I don't know why people think this is like a new way of advertising. It is literally just bringing back clickbait from 2016 Instagram reels. Well, Instagram videos back in the day. They weren't called reels back then. 4, real testimonials. After they get your attention, Il Makiage seals the deal with testimonials. They pack testimonials into their ads, often including multiple video reviews plus a text review in the caption. They get you to believe the hype right before asking you to buy. Twitter ads get a lot of but brands like Il Makiage prove that it is possible to succeed. Plus, the principles they're using apply on all platforms. No matter where you advertise, you can steal these tips to make your ads better. But then I thought, what does everyone else feel about this? And the place where I go for human opinions and brutal honesty is Reddit. And the thing is, when I was scrolling through Reddit and I typed in Il Makiage, everyone else has noticed that these ads are being shoved down everyone's throats. It's not just my algorithm picking me as a victim, it is everyone's algorithm picking them as the victim too. So I typed in Il Makiage on Reddit, and there are posts such as r/makeup addiction, is Il Makiage worth it? To start off, I'm not a typical makeup person. I like makeup and can apply it fairly decently, but I'm lazy and would rather spend that extra time in the warm, cozy bed than making my face up for the day. It's fine, my husband prefers my natural look, blah, 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 and then asks about it. So someone said, I'll forever tell my horror story of Il Makiage. So when I first ordered the foundation, it seemed alright, not great. On par with a drugstore foundation, definitely not worth the price. It's about $40. I'm actually gonna check my order. The real horror story starts with me trying to cancel this stupid subscription. I didn't subscribe to anything, and I wonder if they're gonna try to charge me for anything else. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that because I declined all the subscriptions that they tried to offer me. They kept charging me even after I had supposedly cancelled it, which is a nightmare in and of itself by the way. You're forced to click through like 5 screens of yes, I want to cancel, and list all the reasons why you hate it. And yes, you just want to cancel even if they give you a discount. They make it a huge pain, and there's no easy way to just end the subscription. Asked me twice if I just wanted to change order frequency. Customer service was absolutely worthless and rude, unhelpful, and refused to refund me because they had supposedly already shipped the box, never received the supposed box they charged me for, and I had to do a chargeback from my bank and order a new bank card to stop the fraudulent charges from my cancelled subscription. TLDR, it's a scam all the way through. L foundations are better than their foundation, and they don't force you into subscriptions you don't want and then try and scam you out of money. Unless you just want to get a new bank card to stop scamming charges, just for giggles, do not order from this company. I don't know if they're still allegedly scamming people out of money, but honest is not a way that I would describe this advertising on Twitter. Someone else had replied and said, literally had the same issue trying to end my subscription. I cancelled it, and like 3 months later had another 60 come out of my account. I ended up completely calling them out for it in my email, calling them unprofessional and disrespectful, and how I'll never support them again. The customer service guy ended up refunding me my money, and I got the sub to finally end. Someone said, oh man, okay, I normally don't have a difficult time finding foundation. Every brand seems to work well if I match correctly, be it cheap or very expensive. So you usually get to pick one based on a vibe, and well, aesthetic just gets me. So on a scale of 1 to 5, I always could rate them a 4 to 5 with any foundation. So when the girls ask me what I use, I don't like to give advice because it all works. Very unproblematic skin, it seems. But Il Makiage is the only foundation I'd rate as 1. I tried prepping in many different ways. I wanted it to work, but every time, no matter what, it gets patchy, blotchy in a weird dried out way. We'll see about that. Separates on my skin after a few short hours. I don't have oily or super dry skin. Wasn't the products I used beforehand. I tried to counter the issue. I've never had anything close to this issue with any brand to this day. I even ordered a second time thinking my bottle was bad. I've had friends tell me that they end up throwing theirs away after a few uses also. So I'm super excited to try it. Someone said when I ordered it, it looked like a pretty good shade match at first, but it oxidized and turned orange pretty quickly. It also gets gritty and dry. It highlighted every blemish and dry spot on my face. Someone said, I totally forgot about the foundation oxidizing. I went to school orange a couple years ago. So that shade match thing with the quiz and you get to find your perfect foundation match. I mean, I do wonder because I ordered exactly what they told me to order. So we'll see. Il Makiage on r/makeup addiction. I've seen their ads all over Pinterest and other social media, but I've never heard anyone talk about this brand before. And this was 164 days ago. So they've been advertising for a while. It looks amazing and I'm really curious, but I would like to know if someone here has tried it and what do they think? Is it legit? Is it really as good as it looks? Thanks. Edit, I love it. With all the mixed reviews, I felt like I had to try it for myself. So they love it. Okay, great. But someone said, it looks to me like they use Photoshop in their ads, which tells me the product is probably garbage. And then someone said, for me, it was way too cakey. And someone said, me too, and I think I bought the I Woke Up Like This one or whatever it is. I thought it would be super light because of the name, but it was the opposite. And yes, they've mentioned the Photoshop 164 days ago. So it's clearly something that's been happening for a while. And they are also a sponsor for the Arsenal women's team for football or soccer if you're in the States, which is very interesting. They've gone from this like small, almost Facebook advertising brand to suddenly being a sponsor for a women's football team, which is interesting to say the least. But I am so excited to try it. I'm gonna go get the box. I need to change my battery and I'll see you guys in a minute. Okay, so I've got you guys super zoomed in because I think that's one way we're gonna be able to see the texture and everything that they wanna fake. I've got my parcel. I'm not gonna show you guys the front because that's what the address is. So it says untraditional, uncompromising, undeniably extra, Il Makiage, New York. They do this like boss babe type marketing, which makes me just think of an MLM, which is not great. But this is how the foundation comes. So then it says high standards only in there, which is fun. We have this. So this is instructions for how to use the foundation. So we have over 75% of women get foundation wrong. Get yours right. 1, apply 2 pumps of foundation on the back of your hand or directly onto your sponge or brush applicator. So you can use both. I'm actually going to use both. I'm going to do a bit of a half-half situation. Dab the foundation onto your skin. Blend the foundation over your entire face and below your jawline. Wait 5 minutes for the foundation to completely set. Don't compare the shade match to your neck or wrist. They can be a different tone than your face. Complete your look with your fave products. Bonus points if there are. Use the foundation for a full week to determine if it's a perfect match for you. So they want all of that. That's on here. So I'm going to do exactly as they say. In the video, they use this like fluffy type kabuki brush where it's not super stiff, but it's also not super loose. Typically they use something like this. I'm going to use the IT Cosmetics Heavenly Luxe. I usually use this for bronzer and blush, like cream bronzer and blush. It's the perfect blend between like fluffy but also quite dense. So I'm going to use that. I think that's going to be a fair trial. And then I also have one of my favorite sponges of all time. We have the Cocoa Cosmetics. It's obviously a little bit stained from blush, but it's my favorite sponge of all time. So if anything doesn't work, it's not these two. And I've also not used any primer. I haven't bought their primer and I've only used face cream. So I'm really trying to give them a good old chance, you know? So this is called the Woke Up Like This foundation, Flawless Base Foundation. This packaging is interesting. It kind of, oh, it's like a magnetic clasp or not. Oh, there's tape on it. I thought it was magnetic. Silly me. Okay, there we go. So you kind of pull it up like that, and there it is. I mean, the presentation's pretty cool. It's just a frosted, oh, there is a magnetic closure in here. Yeah, I wasn't being dumb. It was just they had tape on it. This is the Woke Up Like This Flawless Base Foundation. It's a frosted glass bottle, and it's, I mean, it's pretty cute looking. I don't have anything negative to say about it. That's all it is. I have the shade 005. It's made in Italy, and it's 30 mils, 1 fluid ounce. So I'm gonna give it a good old try. I'm gonna give it a shake because I don't want to be unfair. They said 2 pumps. Obviously the first one's not coming out. 1, 2. Okay, great. Not too thick, not too liquidy. It's just like a foundation. Like, you know what I mean when you say just like a foundation? That's what it is. I want to do that swipe that they do. I'm going to do on this side of my face. And I've just coated the brush with the foundation just so it's evenly applied. I'm really trying to give this a good go. Okay, because this could be a really good foundation. Has it erased all of my texture? My hair is in the way. I mean, that's actually looking quite streaky just on that application, but obviously that's not how I apply foundation. And they did say do a dabbing motion, so I don't know why in the ads they do the stripey. Do I just apply more in that area? Okay, so you kind of like that, like that. No, I'm not actually seeing what they were putting down. You can still see all of my texture. Like, I'm not really seeing what they were putting down. Okay, I'm just gonna blend it in normally the way I'd blend in a foundation, but you can see, I mean, it looks very different to how it did in those ads. Oh, I can already tell that this is not gonna be my favorite foundation of all time. It looks very cakey and a bit like dry, while also not really looking dry. It also smells very strongly of like alcohol or something. Oh, actually, I don't know, I'm thinking about it. Okay, well, what do you guys think about this application? I think that looks fine. I need to remember that I'm doing half my face with a sponge and half of my face with the brush. So I'm just going to kind of do a seamless blend down the middle, and then I'm just going to take the rest on a sponge. I mean, the sponge is going to soak in a lot of product. I feel like I'm going to need more than the 2 swipes they told me to do. Yeah, this is like, there's like almost nothing left on here. I'm just going to do 1 more pump. Brush obviously maintains more of the coverage, but I kind of want to match it on the other side. And I am going to check in with you guys later on in the day just to see how it's held up. With a sponge, it obviously is a lot less glowy as well, and a lot less pigmented, just because obviously it takes away a lot of that shine and it takes away a lot of the coverage. So I actually don't know what my preferred form of application is right now. I'll kind of see when I get there. That's what it looks like. Obviously sponge, brush. I've kind of gone over most of it with the sponge at the end. Up close and personal, I do feel like it is sitting on like dry areas and hair a little bit more than I'd like it to. It's almost got that like thin texture, but not nice, like thin where it kind of sits on your skin a bit weird. Like it's all dry kind of up here. From far away, I think it looks okay. Up close, it doesn't look magnificent. It just looks like it is settling in everywhere a little bit, and it's just a little bit dry looking. So this is what it looks like from far away. I'll just finish doing the rest of my makeup, and then I'll just kind of see how we're feeling. So I've done my makeup and I actually kind of hate this foundation. I think from far away it looks fine, and then I got up close and personal to do my makeup and like it is patch city. I've even tried to like do my makeup and the actual application on top, I just did the same. I did cream and then powder on top and everything just looks so patchy. Let me try and zoom you guys in just so you guys can see. Like up here is really patchy. I don't know if you guys can see that. And then just kind of down the middle of the face, I think it looks quite patchy. And then just kind of, I just don't think it looks good. I'm gonna try and insert some pictures as well because I feel like I can really get it on my phone. You can see it's so patchy around where I applied cream bronzer, and that usually does not happen. So yeah, it's so patchy around here and just really thick. Like it's just not meshing well with anything. And then kind of up around the hairline, I find it to be really patchy as well. And then just kind of like down the center of the forehead, it also just doesn't look great. I filmed some up close now videos. Some of them look disgusting, but I actually kind of hate this foundation. I think there is no point of doing a quiz where you ask for someone's skin type if you're not going to provide a foundation that applies to that skin type. I put that my skin type is combination, so I just don't understand why they gave me a foundation that is so mattifying and so drying. I actually had to fix it. I used a lot of stretch concealer under my eyes, which is why it looks good under my eyes, and everywhere else just looks really dry. And I even just put some stretch concealer around my mouth because it was looking so bad. But then this, like, I couldn't really do anything with that. That's just its own beast, and you can just see how like patchy it is. It just did not want to move. So yeah, I kind of hate this foundation. I think the quiz is deceiving. I think the quiz is just a way to get your email, because in order to get your results for your quiz, you have to put in your email and then they give you your results. So it just makes me think they make you feel like this is like an experience of them learning more about you. In reality, I think you're just providing answers so they know what to market towards you and what to send into your email inbox. That is my opinion. And the quiz is completely useless because they only have one foundation type. The only thing that changes is what shade they offer you. And that's it. I'm trying to see if it oxidizes. I'm going to see what it looks like in a few hours, and I'll kind of get back to you with that last update later on. So far, I hate it. Hate their marketing practices, hate their ads, I hate the foundation, and overall just not my favorite company brand. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe with the bell icon for engagement. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.